What's up, my people? This is Mr. Odom, and I'm back with my platform, According to the Lie. I took a break from it. I got back into education, and as anyone would know, I got consumed by that job that everyone inside and outside of education know that teachers are overwhelmed. Our days are consumed night. All we want to do once we get home is just tuck in and go to sleep to get up for the next day. It takes a lot of energy. So back in the business of teaching is a lot. Um, but I want to ease back into my platform and get some things out there. I had to do some certification work for my AP classes, and there you'll see education is the key to this game of this Eurocentric white supremacist world that we live in the under in this matrix of a lie. It really does push us to the lie of a Eurocentric world. It really exposes. That's another discussion for now. But I want to get back on into doing the work, producing some daily commentary about what's going on. Here's something that I did a year ago. I never got a chance to release on the Ahmaud Arbery case, even though it seems like there's nothing going on in the world of law and court TV and all that stuff. Things are going on. If you look back on my platform, you'll see I've done something on something called the Kangaroo Court. And this is my commentary about that event, that time, that situation. Again, the media is not pushing this George Floyd quote unquote hysteria where all our attention is driving and looking at the injustice of the injustice system. And so we think things are nothing is happening, but things are happening. Black people are being killed by police, and there is no justice being justifiable homicide. Young man right now is facing trial because he saw police really literally about to take his life, and he defended himself. Where's his right to stand his ground or no duty retreat? So I thought I'd bring this to the forefront because, again, like in my platforms, I've said and I've discussed, it's really the media that's conditioning us to be in this matrix of this white supremacist cracker world. And I like to attack it from that, and that's why I call it According to the Lie. According to the Lie is about, it's based on what the media, and that includes social media, Instagram, what all of them are telling you. Enough of that right now. Here's this piece I want to share with you about my perspective about the Ahmaud Arbery case. No disrespect to the family, but here it is, and I want to share it with you and see what you think. Give you my point of view about it. So, as I get ready to get myself in, pull it in for you, family, this is what it was, and this is what I was saying. Hold on, let me set it up for you, and I'll be back on the other end.
What's up, my people? And this again is time for some real talk with Mr. O. I know I haven't been on the channel for a while. I'm happy to get back at it. Got back in the classroom, so I didn't have the time that affords me to do this that I have a new passion that I like to do. And so here I am getting back out there and putting my word in or having this conversation with you. Now I want to talk about the Kangaroo Court. And if you look back at my channel, you'll see that I've done something about the Kangaroo Court, and being that I'm in the Kangaroo Court's state of states and the whole nation is a Kangaroo Court. I thought I'd come in and have a conversation with you about, again, the Ahmaud Arbery killing scenario situation. And no disrespect to the family, and no point being making here taking advantage of mentioning the brother's name. May he rest in peace. But here's the deal with the other side. Those no good, what I want to say, people who seem to think that the law is always on their side. And that's what this conversation is about. I'm not trying to be a prophet or a prognosticator, trying to always declare what will come. I'm a historian, and I like to look at what has been to say, hey, this is where we are and what really is going on. Our biggest problem is, hey, we think everything is great, and that's where we are being bombarded by media that makes everybody think everything is even, as we will come, and it's all clear. That's my word. It's all clear. Let's forget the past, except when I say so. And in this situation with the McMichael's trial, we saw quite a few. Why did I say so? And here's why. Here how. This is how I interject, and you've got to follow my lead about it. I'm glad to say that the majority of that jury, which was 11 whites, looked out and said, hey, that could have been my son. that these beasts chased down, treating like a beast, and killed like a beast. And that clear thing makes us think we can't say the real stuff. Well, we know that he said, killed me a nigga when he finished his dastardly deed. So without that being said, let me get into it. The main thing I want to get into is to talk about the Kangoroo Court, the justice system here. The U.S. justice system is constantly on trial, particularly when it deals with us, because there's a past. There's the legitimacy of the attitude, the sanction by government of the attitude of these white men who can deputize themselves, starting with the Constitution of the United States, of the Con institution, and then the subsequent laws, the clause in there with the 3/5 clause, the militia clause, and then something that reinforced that 3/5, which was the Fugitive Slave Act. And if you follow the narrative of these things, even up to the Civil War, that word escape kept coming around because they saw the slave as a criminal. So I predicted that they was going to let those no good rascals off, mainly because of how the judge was legislating from the bench. He gave some instructions that are not in the law. And we don't have to have law degrees. They say it all the time. Those sovereign people say, who said we got to be a lawyer, graduate with a JD to read what the law says and tell it what's going on. The trickster about law is that it's like statistics. You can use so many different points of laws to make your point. Like a statistic, you can use find any research to find any statistic to bash your research. Moving right along with what I want to make here. What did the judge do that gave me that prediction that made me want to say, hey, they're going to get off and they're calling off the National Guard? Well, let's get into that for you here. I call it kangaroo laws from the bench. So when the judge did this, I was certain that it was a definite action that was about to go down.
A private person may arrest an offender upon reasonable and probable grounds of suspicion. That is, on probable cause, which is defined as facts and circumstances that are sufficient to warrant a prudent person or one of reasonable caution in believing in the circumstances shown.
Well, that's enough of that nonsense than what the judge is talking about, because that's what he did with that statement. Was that instruction was writing law from the bench. Probable cause is not in the law. So let me throw Brother Amos Wilson in here about laws again, so that we can see where my mind frame is coming from, and hear what we need to understand when we think about the beast laws. Check them out.
You see, so at one point, the government maintained the contract of the slave master and the slave. This slave belongs to you. And you can go to court. And if he escapes from you, he is a criminal. And if he escapes many times, he has a criminal nature. He's genetically criminal. That's why you have to be careful before you start talking about criminal natures and all that kind of stuff. Because what is a crime changes over time. It was a crime for a black person as a slave to seek to escape from involuntary servitude. And it will be backed by the U.S. government.
Now that's Brother Amos Wilson talking family, telling us like it really is. That's the history. What makes it legitimate to us? What makes it, and they like to throw it out there, that sanctimonious thing, the sanctuary, man in black robe, is the holy place, and this thing, consider that such a divine place on law. It is not. It is the imposition of the authority of one group above the other, and backed by the United States government. That's what that thing is, the ruling class breaking down and making the lower group take theirs. Now, how do we accept it ourselves? We go through this thing that they put in front of us. This right here, the ritual stuff. Look at it. I had to do that, throw back in the blood of that Floyd case where the doctor gets up and lies about George Floyd. And then this one lying about what went down. And how, now let's get back to the judge talking. The judge saying, hey, there's probable cause. They were trying to push the totality of the issues, trying to make it all come renaissancing together. And when we look at, wait a minute, let me get back on that judge instructions. Well, how Court TV put it out that day. Court TV showed us it like this when he was giving
It's essentially
his
telling the
instruction.
jury that
Read the law
it
real
has, here we go,
carefully
a
there.
private
You will
citizen.
not see anything in there about probable grounds or probable cause. It just said grounds. But the judge said he used the word probable cause. That's law enforcement talk. They don't have liberty for probable cause in citizens arrest. That's that legislation. That's that kangaroo. That's what made me think they finna get off. Because they were getting ready to deputize them. And if you look at how Court TV put it down, not only if you look at it from Justia, you'll see there's no place in there where it says the probable cause the judge was trying to say you guys can consider. That would have given the jury deputizing power if they followed his instruction. The loophole to allow him out. Deputizing power, which they often do. They deputize him, that they will sanction him deputizing himself. And why can he sanction deputizing himself? These people basically saying, we need more good old boys like you. That's the Rittenhouse case. We need good old boys like you that run around and help us. But that's not the options that he has of my family. He can't do that for himself. Let me get back on me. So you see me there. No, he can't deputize himself. And that's coming from that militia nonsense. That's why I want to throw you in the militia clause of the Constitution. But that's too much going on. But when we look at the militia clause and the fugitive slave clause, when you put those things together, and then when you grab down to the citizens arrest law, I'm gonna skip on down to my points about the history of citizen arrest. It was all connected to what they do, how they pursued us, how they viewed us back in the day of slavery. Look at this, family. Look at this. Basically, the history of it was as such. Look at that. Law was passed to help the ordinary citizen get together, and when they saw a slave who was a criminal, as Amos Wilson just told us, he's a criminal. He's supposed to be under somebody else's care. They could arrest him right away. That's the origin of what we're living with, family. That's the focus of how their mindset. They're still operating from the past. And that's what I'm talking about here. This thing is still going on from the past, from the foundation of the Con and the Constitution to this present day. Many times, even Automatic said, on one occasion, he was dealing with some nonsense right here in Georgia, Albany or Newton, Georgia, down there. Once he was radical back in the day. He was pushing his things, not radical. He was rightfully seeking justice against this corrupt, unjust system. And the police down there decided to arrest him, and they got him in a police car, and they drove him down to the downtown to the jail. And while he was going, all the white folks jumped in and followed them to downtown to the city jail. When he got out, white folks was out there, they jumped him, and they were beating him, and the police allowed them to beat him. That's the concept that we're living with, family. Let me get myself back out in here for you so you can see me. That's the history of this nonsense, family. That's what we're dealing with. Get me on here. Focus right there. That's the concept that we're dealing with. A past where they can deputize themselves. They can deputize themselves and operate legitimate, sanctioned by government, sanctioned by a judge and his instruction. So what am I getting you to understand, family? When they see this concept right here, they will have no problem with this thing right here happening. You get me back in and make this thing what I want. I take out that. You want to put this in and go to there and make it happen for me. They have no problem with themselves doing things. They have no problem sanctioning themselves. They have no problem with governments, because the law of the Constitution gives them the authority to do so. Let's break this thought right here. So when they see this, family, that's working with me. It got to work for me. That's it. They see this concept, family. Let me take that one out. They have no problem doing this. Defending themselves. No duty to retreat. That's the cross dichotomy in the scenario. Here's when he wanted to say, hey, I'm white and I say so. I can stalk and chase this man, but when this man turn around and come after me, I have no duty to retreat. And by the way, he was breaking federal laws when he was stalking young Ahmaud. But he didn't see that as a problem. They didn't see that as a problem. The judge was trying to tell them they can give the totality of the defense was arguing the totality of the situation. Well, which one is it? Is it the totality of the situation, the past up to the present? Or is it right there when the struggle was over the gun? This is the conflict that we live in, family. We live in this society like that. Where, hey, let me put this apart. To put these points in front of you. So what did he do? He deputized himself. Even in the neighborhood watch. Subdivision can be considered a little political entity. And the neighborhood watch gives them slight kind of police power. Google it. The one came up out here in Georgia, Clayton County there's a line of use. There's an alliance with the police department, so they feel like they're policing. And so what did the good defense attorney say for good old Travis? Let me take that out. Go right here. Let's listen to the boy talk about his client. He was
going back over toward the right. Now, Travis, this is his truck looking down on it. Travis is here, originally in the door jamb, but he told you as Mr. Farmer came closer, he did this and made him change direction. Now he's coming, he's wavering on the road, and so Travis is walking away. He's backing up. He's not charging at him. He's backing up to try to create space and distance. He has this gun here, and he is literally watching him. You see his foot plant right there, and Travis is thinking to himself, please turn, please turn, please turn. That's what he told y'all, that's what he told the Hilly. Please turn into this yard. Please don't come at me. I am backing up. I'm just trying to keep an eye to make sure. Please don't come to me.
Yeah, please turn. Please don't come after me. Don't you understand how dangerous? This echoes back to a past, and I'm going to play that in a moment. Please turn. Please don't come after me. I have no duty to retreat, but I could stalk you down the road for 5 minutes. No duty to. I've been sanctioned by the government. You're a criminal. I see you as a criminal. A black man running. He has to have done something wrong. Why don't y'all investigate? See what he done did wrong. Old citizens, no possibility. Even when the deputy got there, and the deputy looking at Brother Ahmaud laying in the ground, heard that fool and asked one of the fool with the cameras, asked him, do you think y'all should have been chasing him? He said, I don't know. When the camcorder of the police officer heard him say he must have done something wrong right then, they knew good and damn well that man had no citizens arrest authority. They should have arrested him on the spot then. Had it been reversed, like many other even white attorneys said, had it seen him been reversed, no camera, those people would have investigated that thing upside down, downside, right, left, right, all the way through, and indicted somebody. Had it been reversed where two black guys was chasing a white boy and killed him in such a manner. That's the reality of what we're living with, family. Let me bring myself in here on y'all view. That's why these people can do this thing right here, family. They don't see any problem with these people in line with the police officers. So look at that nonsense. The history of vigilantism. These people are militia people. That's why they have no problem seeing these guys with guns standing beside them. Bring myself back in there. Check that scene out for yourself, family. Let me get my no duty to retreat here out of there. I don't know why I keep bringing that back in. I got to get my camera on where it plays right for where I want to be. So we put back up the vigilante stuff quickly. Again, that's why I'm saying they have no problem with these people right here standing beside them. Right, let it in right here. Let's stop. Look at this for a second, family. Vigilantism. Look at that. It's good. Vigilantism. Again in the news. See that? Men with guns standing around the policeman. Assault rifle. Rittenhouse. No problem. But you go on YouTube, you'll see where, and Google where you'll see where young black men were walking down the street with his AK rifle, and the police jumped out and had him on the ground like, what are you doing? And you out your mind. That's the reality of this nation that we live in, family. We don't have that luxury of being, deputizing ourselves and acting with full authority of the United States government and all its sub entities. I know I've been out and seen it, but I have some visuals I wanted you to see and really drive home my point that this is a kangaroo court system. That's why they're selling to you and trying to get you to buy into the governing of the United States. What's going on? So we got to get out of the law of the sanctimonious of these laws. It ain't real. It got too many loopholes for the advantages of the powerful, mainly white men. That's what my main point here. Because look, even when you look at this situation here, look how one of the defense attorney had a problem, even though their guys can be relying like this, like I just showed you in that vigilantism article. Listen to the defense attorney when he was concerned with Black Panther people out there.
Scared the defendants, but I have co-counsel with a small child who was scared to death. Large weapons.
Something wrong with my
apparently
boy in
automatic
there.
weapons, were seen outside.
It was too low for
the
me.
courthouse.
Go in and check it real
and,
quick.
you know,
It should be playing
given
for
everything
you. If
else
it's not
that's
playing
already
for me, it
transpired
definitely should be
in the
playing for you,
we
family.
believe at this point.
Let's see.
that
Yeah,
it's
I
perfect
didn't
for
do
the
that. I'll put that
That's
right
right.
there. There we go. So at least you all heard it. Again, what'd he say? He was scared to death of the black man with the gun. Black man with guns is a problem, but white boys with guns, that's not a problem, right? So you all heard that point. So again, why did this reek of the past? Let me get to that. You heard his argument, but listen to this from the past.
William Bradford Huey.
The argument of Travis. Don't turn at me, but listen to the past.
Marlon was startled at the belligerent attitude or the fact that young Till didn't appear to be afraid of him. Now, he'd gone and got him out of bed and had him in the back of the truck.
You hear that stuff? Had him in the back of the truck, went and got him out of bed, hunting him down. They were hunting him down. And young Till didn't seem to be scared of him. Young brother Ma didn't seem to be scared of him. He didn't pay him no mind. He kept watching. He minded his own business. I can jog. Who said he was a jogger? We're going to see who toenails along after this deal. We need to look at Travis' toenail. That's the one with the mental defect. But hunted him down, went and got him out of bed and brought him out in the middle of nowhere. The young man didn't seem to be scared of him. That made that beast mad. Didn't that sound like him? Let me finish this part. Listen to this short look here.
And young Till never realized the danger he was in. I'm quite sure that he never thought these two men would kill him.
Ahmad did not make that mistake. I don't know what went down, but I kind of hypothesized, but without disrespect to the family, that when he saw that truck stop, and out of his peripheral vision, he saw that man get out of that truck after chasing him for 5 minutes and grab that shotgun. He knew it was a life and death moment. That's why he went for the gun, I believe. This is my opinion in this. No disrespect to the family. I had to take the gun from that beast who had no business chasing him like that. But let's listen to this fool as he talked. Please don't turn. Please don't turn my way. This is insane. This is the criminal justice system. And this case was suppressed by an old boy network. An old boy network. Let me get out of this. I don't talk long enough. A corrupt Glenn County that's operating out of the past, that still has the concept that we're escaping, telling, plundering. We're criminals. And these fools that I still got their image on the thing, they decided to take the law in their own hand because they thought that he did something wrong. The real man, he did nothing wrong. And has the lady, that woman on her deathbed, recanted and said, he did nothing to me. If he did even whistle, how was that a sexual assault? That these beasts can take the law into their own hand. There ain't no law against that. That was a lynching, just like what we saw and the Ahmaud Arbery killing. It was a lynching sanctioned by the district attorney office. Oh boy, never. Listen how they were talking. They were talking out of the past. There's a colored boy, colored boy here. What word is that out of? What year is they talking from? The colored boy. He's watching him. So he had escaped. He don't did something wrong. Won't you all go investigate and see what he don't did wrong? They have the ability to self-deputize themselves. That's one point I want to put in here, family. They have the ability to self-deputize themselves, and they basically do that through things like this. What are we doing with the self-deputizing thing? That's not happening there. Let me move on and roll. So, and that self-deputizing gives them the ability to do what they're doing. I'm not saying this to look at the law, or look at just what happened in our Ahmaud Arbery case. I'm saying this because on a large scale, this thing is still going on all over the country because we got a kangaroo court system in play. Based on the foundation of a country that's corrupt from its beginning. It's a criminal organization with a mafioso operation happened, where the powerful enforce their rules over the other. That's my point in making all this. And the crazy thing about the media is they keep trying to tell you, hey, come on, don't y'all give up on us. It's still valid. We still good. Things are going to work out. Don't give up, because they know that if we stop buying into the justice system, that's the beginning of the collapse of the government. And there must be signs that's telling them that the system is about to collapse. They got to do something to change this. But for us, my point of saying all of this is to say, hey, buying into it, I like to put it the way Steve Coker put it to us, family. Steve Coker did it the best when he brought it to us like this. And I'm going to bring in Steve Coker on there. Take him out right there. That's before my time. That's that convict being convicted. Oh, I'll bring that back in. But Steve Coker said it best like this, family. Was the best protected. We need to protect ourselves from this system. Protecting ourselves from this system. He said it best like this.
No, don't you fall for it. Remember, there is no law to protect a black man from a white man with a mission. What will back him up is you will kick his ass. That will back him up. No other threat will make him retreat. The thought of losing it all is all he's afraid of.
That's the only thing. Buying into this system? Yeah, I'm willing to up to a point. And I applaud the DA who did what she did, because she was on point to make that thing happen. She put his words in front of him, constantly ran it down, made it so common sense that if anybody went along with that lie, hey, this nation is good for doing stuff like that. That went along with his lie, his dichotomy. Well, he had to commit a crime, and so I was just chasing him, but I was just following him to see what he was doing. But take a totality of, I saw him do something back on the 19th. I don't know what it was. Probably last 2019, and all that nonsense, the lies. But then it gets to the struggle right there before him with the gun that he's trying to say, I have no duty to retreat. I had to defend myself. That's the dichotomy, as Malcolm X likes to say. They can take two sides of a position and have that are totally opposite, opposing themselves, and have no problem with it. The forked tongue. That's what we're dealing with, family. The forked tongue. And sometimes a system will go along with that forked tongue because we need good old boys like him to keep maintaining law and order. Rittenhouse kind of situation. But I'm glad the convict won't be moving around. Oh, I have to show this. The convict is going to jail. That's what I have to say about it. The convict is definitely going to jail. He needs to go to jail. He's a no good that needs to go behind bars because they know that what they've done was murder. Hunted him down like a dog and killed him like a dog. I left him to bleed out in the street like a dog. So I don't have any mercy for these people. I have no mercy. I don't trust the system yet, even though they're trying to get us to buy into it. They know this thing is corrupt, family. They know it's got a problem. But, hey, I ain't doing it. Get that off there. I don't want that they are putting that eagle up there, that stars, that that they are doing their rituals again when they went for that eagle. Last thing they want you to see. So thank goodness there'll be none of this happening. What is it? We ain't gonna see this thing go
This
down.
has nothing to do with race. It never
Yeah, it had a lot
anything
to do with
race.
There'll
It
be
had
no
to do
Fox
with the
interview
right to
for it,
self-defense.
unfortunately. There'll be no
I'm
Fox
not a racist
interview. I'm sorry
person.
about
I
that,
support
family.
the
You messing with
BLM
my
movement. I
buttons here.
support peacefully
To
demonstrating.
get them off of that.
And I believe there needs to be
Yeah,
change. I
jumping
believe
around. What did
there's
I
a lot of
do?
prosecutorial
Rittenhouse on you,
misconduct,
right?
not just in my
Can't
case,
hit
but
the
in
right button. Won't be no Fox interview. And here, let me put up. That's why I had that lined up to go next. When you check this out, family.
Shock here.
This is the Rittenhouse victim talking about this
That
justice.
guy gets to run free, and he's now a hero. And this is my son right here. This is Anthony. You know, we lost our son, and there's no justice right now for our family, and there's no closure. And there wasn't going to be justice in that Kenosha court with that judge.
Hey, that family said it right. So again, I gotta go for this closing.
No, don't you fall for it. Remember, there is no law to protect a black man from a white man with a mission. What will back him up is you will kick his ass. That will back him up. No other threat will make him retreat. The thought of losing it all is all he's afraid of.
Let me put that out there, family. We got to get over that. We got to get over the law of laws as holy and sanctimonious. There's none. We can't have it. They're not. It is. Let me go back to Amos Wilson. He says it best. No, I can't close with myself saying it. I'm going to go back with Amos Wilson saying it. Let's hear Amos Wilson, family. Get some of these things out of here. I push a lot of buttons. I want to hear you hear it from Amos himself.
You see. So at one point, the government maintained the contract of the slave master and slave. This slave belongs to you. And you can go to court. And if he escapes from you, he is a criminal. And if he escapes many times, he has a criminal nature. He's genetically criminal. That's why you have to be careful before you start talking about criminal natures and all that kind of stuff. Because what is a crime changes over time. It was a crime for a black person as a slave to seek to escape from involuntary servitude. And it would be backed by the U.S. government. Okay? That's why you have to study laws and get over this, this la-la perception of law. It is the imposition of power, and the means by which the powerful legitimize their power and make it the subordinate people accept their power over them as legitimate.
So that's what's going on. That's what makes it a Kangoroo court, because those are the factors that work throughout that entire system. Word to the wise. Thanks for listening to me, family. I hope you got something out of this, just to make you aware. It's a Kangoroo court system all over the country. And they now realize that. That's why they're pushing for us to buy into it, and their people to buy into it, because they see it's corrupt. The con institution is what's going down in this nation. That's enough for me. I've said enough. Until next time, take it easy, and you all take it easy out there, and let's be wise.
Well, thanks, family, for watching that with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this was my reflection of what was going on back during the Ahmaud Arbery situation. And all I wanted to do is kind of recap that by saying, hey, it's historical. It's laid in the foundation of this nation, right? And from the Constitution of the Constitution from the get-go, as Steve Kourt would say, there's a con job going on. Historically, getting over the la-la. I'm saying it's sanctioned. You get invited to the White House, you're being applauded as in the Rittenhouse case. A man deputizing himself. Oh, man, this was a 17-year-old boy running down the street with a gun. Not just a regular gun, a semi-automatic gun. Invited to the White House. Welcome on news networks nationally and internationally, be seen and crowned. That's sanctioned. That means you're being sanctioned by the authorities at the highest level of government. We need good old boys. And another point I want to drive home, like that man said in the Rittenhouse case, there was no justice in that courtroom. There's no justice in any courtroom. Watch out when you find a judge directing an outcome. And they have a lot of latitude to direct an outcome. A rigged system. It's a rigged, the system is rigged. George Collins in that comedian was talking to white folks. So if you said it was rigged for them, you know it's rigged against us. Rigged. And so when that judge sat there and put that little reasonable cause, there's no reasonable cause in a citizen's arrest law. He had legislated from the bench. Thus, that made me think he could get off. That's how a judge drives a case. So I look at things from a historical point of view, family, and I want to bring all that together in that kind of context. So there's a lot more I want to say. Get some of the clinks and bumps out of my running this platform, as you can see there, but still, I got it. I mashed it into a certain context, and I want to get it smoother. Thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. If you like this video, share this video, and talk about it with our family and friends. There's a lot about that court system, that legal system that is not for us. It's the injustice system, as many of our elders have said of the past. The injustice system. How can we expect justice from an injustice system? Well, that's it. Until next time, let's be wise out there. Thanks again for watching. And this is Mr. O. Until next time, be wise.